September fiscal deficit number has come in at 3.78 lakh crore rupees. That's about 68.1% of the FY16 budget estimate. The overall budget deficit has come in at about 3.79 lakh crore rupees and government spending at about 9.1 lakh crore rupees. This is versus 8.62 lakh crore rupees on a year-on-year basis. We're getting the breakup as well, and I have Latha with me. Latha, have you had a chance to go through the numbers? Do you have the breakup with you?
Well, it's on expected lines. I mean, you wouldn't worry about the fiscal deficit. Last year, same time, the fiscal deficit was 83% of the total. This time, it is 68%, but that is to be expected. Last year, we had a functioning government only from probably June up until May. We had a lame duck government. So the numbers will look good. Yeah. As well, if you compare it to April, August, the fiscal deficit at that time was 66.5. Now it has increased to about 67-68%. So very much in control. The happy part will be the total expenditure of the government. The expenditure of the government is 9.1 lakh rupees, which is compares with 8.62 last year same time. So a little bit of expenses also going up. The net tax revenue at 3.7 lakh. The tax receipts were only 2.9 in the first 5 months. So that's a reasonable amount of improvement that you're seeing in the first half. Some help coming definitely from the indirect taxes as well. So I would think that these numbers are an improvement over August for sure. Nothing disappointing about with these numbers.
What about the breakup as far as the plan and non-plan expenditures are concerned?
Well, I haven't yet got the estimates over there. We'll have to just wait. At the moment, you're only getting the spending estimates. Okay. We'll have to wait a bit for the plan, non-plan breakup.
Okay, but all in all, you would say that the fact that the government is spending...
Okay, there is the non-plan expenses at 6.57 lakh. Well, I think this is more or less in line with expectations. Any unnecessary shoot up is not there. Plan expenditure at 2.54 is definitely something positive in terms of expenses as well. This breakup would count as positive.
Okay.
Shanti Ghosh joining us. He's the chief economist from SBI. Shaumyo, if you've got the numbers with you, the fiscal deficit numbers come in at 3.78 lakh crore. I think that amounts to about a 68% of the fiscal deficit. The revenue, that's the fiscal 68.1% of the total. More importantly, tax revenue stands at 3.7 lakh crore, which is 40% of the total estimate. Your thoughts?
No, I think the numbers which have come in are as per expected lines, and it indicates that the fiscal situation remains comfortable, because if I just look at the revenue receipts, which is current period is around 45% of the total, so that in itself shows that the numbers are comfortable. And the other thing which is happening is that if you look into the government surplus cash balances, which lies with the RBI for auction, which had progressively declined from May 15 till July 15. The average balances in July was only around 89 billion. That has been increasing since July. So now that is around 404 billion. So that means that the spending spree which the government was having in the first 3 months, possibly beginning May to July, there may be just a little bit the slowing of that. So that's why the deficit numbers are looking even better. And that if you look into the expenditure numbers, that reflects that there is some sort of an expenditure slowdown in the last couple of months. And given the fact that the tax revenues have been robust, that the picture of the fiscal deficit a little more comforting than what we are expecting.
Revenue receipts is 9.1 lakh crore. Is that an improvement?
Yeah, I think if you compare with the last year, I mean, the comparable period, obviously the revenue receipts at 45% of the budget estimates, which was 35% last time, is definitely a significant improvement. And there has been reports which shows that the excess tax collections remain buoyant. So I don't, and the only spot of bother is the disinvestment receipts. So, but I think that there could be some sort of an rationalization in the sense that the subsidy numbers will provide some cushion. So that's the only spot of bother. But otherwise, on the whole, the numbers look comforting enough.
You are happy with the expenditure numbers? 6.57 lakh crore is the non-plan expense, and the plan expense is 2.54 lakh crore.
Yeah, plan expenditure actually has slowed down a little bit, because if you look into the capital expenditure numbers also, there's the capital expenditure number, there has been a little bit of slowdown of the capital expenditure, the way it was at the frantic pace in the first couple of months. That was expected because I think the objective of the government was to get some of the, for example, in the road sectors was to get some of these projects on the ground. So that may be a little bit of, slowdown, but on the whole, the numbers are, are as per expected, or even better.
All right. Thanks a lot for that, Shoumya. Fine. Expenditure on the planned side may have slowed a bit, but overall expenditure, I think, is positive. If I remember right, in August, it was 7.3 lakh crores. So we have come in September to 9.1 lakh crores. So, well, I would think the markets would be happy with this number.